Hi, FCST 1010 students. This is Dr. Wheeler. It's Sunday, July 17th, and we are heading into week 7. We only have 1 week after this, and keep in mind, this week we'll do Module 8, but next week, which is our last week, we will actually do 2 modules, Modules 9 and 10. So just be prepared for a heavy load that last week. We're going to get right into it, and we're going to go on to Module 8. Let me remind you also about assignments that you turn in late. Just remember that you will be penalized no matter the reason unless you let me know ahead of time that you will be turning in late and you get permission to turn it in late. If you turn it in late and then after the fact you email me 4 or 5 days afterwards to let me know, I still can't give you full credit for that. It would not be fair to all the countless students in our class that are turning their work in on time. It just wouldn't be fair to them. So just keep that in mind. Let's move on to the LibGuide for week 7. Well, actually, it's Module 8. I'm sorry. It's week 7, Module 8. And this is listening and taking notes. And this is probably one of my very, very favorite, most passionate modules because I think it's probably the key to everything in college. You hear me talk about my nephew a lot, my nephew Harrison, because he does struggle quite a bit in school. And I tried to tell him last week, he's in summer school, taking an English class this summer, and the 1 week that he did not take notes, he failed the quiz. And I asked him, Harrison, did you take notes? And he said, no, I didn't feel like it. Well, it kind of did not pay off for him, and I think it was a good thing and a bad thing that he flunked the quiz, good thing that he realized how important that note-taking is. And guys, on the other hand, listening is absolutely important. As you watch all these things under day 1 and day 2, you'll notice what students look like, and we've all been there. I'm guilty, you're guilty, we're all guilty about being in the class with a teacher that may or may not be the most exciting teacher in the world, and your mind tends to wander about what you're going to watch on television that night, where you're going to go when you leave class, or what you're going to eat. I could name off 1,000 different things, and your mind just kind of wanders. I will say this. I don't expect you to be there 100% of the time mentally focusing on every single solitary word, but I will say this. It sure does make life a whole lot easier when you start taking face-to-face classes at Georgia Highlands, or if you transfer to KSU or Georgia State or my old alma mater, West Georgia, or the University of Florida. No matter where you are, it is so much easier if you take notes while you're in there to pass the time away. Sure, you can break out a cell phone and start looking on Facebook or texting somebody, but then, guys, you leave class and you say, okay, what did we do today? And you end up spending as much time as you did in class trying to find out from your classmates what you actually did and what the professor said. And then it's counterproductive. So what I always did, and I think I talked to you guys about it last week, I found somebody in my degree field both times, when I went to nursing school and when I went back to get an education degree. I found somebody that had my passion. You don't want to goof off because they will bring you down with them. You want somebody that really wants to get their degree. And I wrote it through with them, and we shared notes with each other because you can't hear everything. The prime example is this step 2. If anybody's ever seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I get it a lot myself. I mean, I'm a pretty interesting person. I love to tell jokes in class, and I talk about sports. You know, I'm a sports fanatic, so I always start off a class talking about sports, and I try to make it interesting. But I still have a few students out there that I'll see them you know, they're in la la land. They are thinking about where they're going after they leave. And the easiest thing to do, guys, is to take notes. Step 3 is how to take great notes. You may think you know how to take great notes, but this short video, it might be about 2 minutes, really give you some great ideas. This says, please read the article over listening and note-taking, then take the listening quiz. How did you do? Are you a good listener? And then you're going to proceed on to journal entry number 8. So make sure you take this listening quiz. We all think we're good listeners. Sometimes I have selective listening. My husband talks. Sometimes he talks my ears off. And he will come home from the golf course and go through every single shot on the golf course. You know, on number 5, I had used a sand wedge into this green and blah, blah. And I'm thinking, oh my Lord, as much as I love golf, please, you know. So I'm not a good listener in that respect. But in class, for an hour and 15 minutes, you could listen to my husband if it meant passing a class towards your degree. So everything on day 1 from Monday through Wednesday, and then before Wednesday evening at midnight, make sure you submit journal entry number 8 in the discussion board. Do you really listen in class? Be honest with yourself, guys. I'm not going to count off if you're not. If I don't want to hear everybody say, oh, I listen to every word, I take notes. Be honest. That's the only way you're going to correct it, is if you're honest with yourself. Does your mind race to other thoughts while your professor's speaking? I would answer yes. Are you an active listener by taking notes in class? Guys, that is the only way I am ever an active listener. I'm not ADD, I'm not ADHD, but, I mean, unless you're talking about, to be honest with you, unless you're talking about sports like pro football, college football, beach volleyball, golf, or, you know, my favorite golfers, I'm not going to be listening too close unless I'm taking notes. If I'm taking notes, I'm going to listen to every word so I can write them down. And guess what? I'll use the notes to pass the next test, and I'll have an A in the class, and the person that didn't take notes will not. What could you do to start? What could you start doing to be a better listener in class? What could you do? Use some of the things you learned under day 1 and submit that by Wednesday at midnight. Keep in mind, in order to get the 45 points, y'all should already know this, we're in week 7, that you need to respond to 2 classmates by Sunday in order to receive the full 45 points. Come Thursday, you can move over to day 2. Watch this winning note-taking strategies. This was a Prezi that I presented to other FCST instructors. Everybody needs to watch that entire Prezi. It gives you good ideas. There's some mapping on there. It's called, Poplet. You can create a Poplet. Your professors will love you at Georgia Highlands if they see you create a mind map. Poplet is free. You can download the app, I think, on your iPad, or you wouldn't want to probably do it on your iPhone. I pull it up on my computer, though. Poplets are great. You can print them. You can move them around. You can add YouTube videos. You need to watch that Prezi so you can figure out what a Poplet is. Now this is important for your challenge for this week. When you move on to step 2, this says, please review the following note-taking methods before completing challenge 8. Most people skip right over this, and when they get to challenge 8, they don't get full credit because they didn't follow the directions. Once you have examined all 5 methods, choose 2. So let's say one of them is the old-fashioned outline, and another one is mind mapping, or else you want to do mind mapping and the Cornell T. Anyway, review the 5 note-taking methods and choose 2 of them before you move on to the challenge. The challenge, if you chose outline is your first method of note-taking, I want you to watch this video over the mushroom burial suit, and I want you to watch the first 3 minutes of it, and I want you to outline what this girl in these ninja pajamas is saying, using the outline or whatever method you choose. I want you to take notes over the first 3 minutes of this video using one of your chosen note-taking methods. Then I want you to stop the video, and I want you to switch to the second method that you chose. Maybe it's the Cornell T method. And then I want you to watch the last 3 minutes of the video using your second method. After you've done that, keep hold of your notes, and then this gives you all the directions. Watch the first 3 minutes of the video over the mushroom death suit. Take notes using one of the note-taking methods you selected. Then switch to the other note-taking system and watch the rest of the video. After taking notes over the video in both methods, please answer these questions. Which note-taking systems did you choose and why? You're going to give me 2 of them, and you're going to tell me why you chose them. After you take notes, which one did you prefer and why? Go into great detail. Don't just say outline, it was easier. Outline, I was used to it. I want detail about why you chose it. I want detail about why you preferred it. How could you successfully use this note-taking system in a class for which you are currently enrolled? Maybe you're not enrolled in a class right now that requires a lot of note-taking. If you're not, don't just simply leave that blank. Think of a class you'll take in the future, and I want you to tell me how you could successfully take notes using one of these note-taking methods. You're going to go back to the home page. You're going to go to discussion, and you're going to go down to number 8, listening and note-taking. This will be due Wednesday before midnight. Reply to students before Sunday at midnight, and then you're going to go back again, and you're going to go to the Dropbox, and you're going to answer those questions over note-taking after you've watched the video and selected your 2 methods of choice, and then you're going to go down to Challenge 8 and complete that. Email me if you have any questions. I haven't been getting many emails lately, so I guess that's a good thing. I don't know, because some of you are just not turning it in altogether, the challenges in, and I really need you to if you want a passing grade. But anyway, email me if you have any questions. Y'all have a great week and take care, and I'll be sending out my final video next Sunday, and we will do challenges 9 and 10 and journals 9 and 10 for our last week. This week we're focusing on journal 8, note-taking. All right, guys, have a great week.